All right, today we are going to crack the code on something you've probably read 1,000 times, but maybe never really thought about. Hebrew names. Yeah, they're way more fascinating than you might think. Think about it. For most of us today, a name is, well, it's just a label, right? It's how we tell people apart. But what if a name could be so much more than that? What if it wasn't just something your parents picked out, but was actually a roadmap for your entire life? Well, in the ancient Hebrew world, that's exactly what they were. Names were absolutely packed with meaning. We're talking destiny, prophecy, even divine secrets, all wrapped up in a single word. So, yeah, let's look beyond the simple label. Because in the Bible, a name is never just an identifier. It's more like a super condensed story. A story that can tell you everything about a person's character, their purpose, and even their destiny. This quote really hits on a completely different way of seeing the world, doesn't it? A name wasn't just describing someone, it was believed to be prescribing their future. It was thought to actually shape who you were and what you were meant to do. And that idea right there, that's the foundation for everything we're going to get into. Okay, and this brings us to a really fascinating idea. Your name is your destiny. But get this, these names weren't always set in stone. They could actually change and evolve as a person's spiritual journey unfolded. Let's look at a couple of the most famous examples you've definitely heard of. So first up, we've got Abram. His name means exalted father. Pretty good name, right? But then God comes along with a new mission, and boom, a new name, Abraham, which means father of many nations. It's a perfect illustration of a name change signaling a brand new divine purpose. His identity literally had to expand to fit his destiny. And it happens again with Jacob. His name means supplanter, which, if you know his story, totally fits his early life. But then he has that incredible life-altering encounter, and he's renamed Israel, he who struggles with God. You see, it's not just a new name, it's a whole new spiritual identity, one that he earned through that struggle. Okay, now let's dig into the code itself, because there's a pattern here that I promise, once you see it, you'll start seeing it everywhere. So many Hebrew names have this hidden signature baked right in, a little piece of God's own name. The key is to look for two little elements, El or Yah. El is pretty straightforward, it just means God. And Yah is a shortened version of Yahweh, which means the Lord. These are the basic building blocks of what we're calling the God code. Let me show you how it works. Let's take Daniel. You've got Dan, which means judge, and El, which means God. Put them together, what do you get? God is my judge. Simple. Or Gabriel, you've got strength plus God, and that equals God is my strength. And then you have Elijah, who's got both. My God, that's the Eli, is Yahweh, that's the Jah. So you see, these aren't just names, they're basically mini prayers, little declarations of faith. But hold on, because it goes even deeper than that. Beyond just the literal meaning of the words, there's a whole other mystical layer to these names. We're talking about a hidden numerical and spiritual code. So this system is called Gematria. It's this ancient Hebrew practice where every single letter of the alphabet also has a number assigned to it. And the idea is if you add up the numerical values of the letters in a name, you can unlock these hidden connections and find whole new layers of meaning. Let me give you a really simple, classic example. King David's name. In Hebrew, that's Dalet, Vav, Dalet. Okay, so the numbers for those letters are 4, 6, and 4. You add that up and you get 14. And that number, 14, becomes this kind of signature for David and his entire family line all through the scriptures. And if we take this mystical idea just one step further, we get to the 72 names of God. Now, hold on. These aren't names like Abraham or David. Instead, they're these really powerful three-letter combinations, like a divine code that's pulled from a very specific passage in the book of Exodus. And each one is thought to be its own unique channel of divine energy. And these aren't just for, academic study. They're meant to be used as practical spiritual tools. In these mystical traditions, you would actually pick a name based on what you need, say healing or maybe courage. Then you'd visualize the Hebrew letters and meditate on them to try and connect with that specific divine energy. So what's the point? Why does any of this ancient history matter for us today? Well, because once you understand this code, it fundamentally changes how you read the Bible. It's no longer just a list of strange names. It becomes this rich, incredible tapestry of divine planning and human potential. So, To sum it all up, when we get this, we start to see how names can reveal God's hidden plan in the stories. They act like little clues, foreshadowing what's going to happen. And this is a big one. They show us that our identity isn't set in stone. It can be transformed. And maybe most importantly, they can be a real source of personal encouragement, A reminder that we all have a purpose that's kind of written into our very being.
So, from now on, when you open up the Bible and you come across a name, don't just skim past it like it's just a label. Stop for a second. Look for the code. Think about the destiny that's wrapped up in that name. You've got the key now, so who knows what secrets you're going to discover.